The question has come up a few times. Have you tried this Kel-Tec firearm? Or have you tried this Kel-Tec firearm? And I take the time in the comment and I explain, no, I haven't. And this is why. But my channel's starting to get big enough now to where the question comes up frequently enough. It's beneficial for me to shoot a video so I can just send a link. That's why. So Kel-Tec has left a bad taste in my mouth. Now, this is my mouth. That doesn't mean your mouth is the same as my mouth, obviously. So how did this all happen? This goes all the way back to the KSG. So I had seen it. This is a magazine because YouTube was still pretty young at this time, and you got your information from gun magazines. That's where they came from. Down in the corner was this little ad. KSG holds what, 16 shots? Bullpup configuration. It's shorter and holds more firepower than any shotgun on the market that I knew of at that time. Grab the magazine, go to my girl, I'm like, I need this, I want it, I'm gonna get it. Now understand, but right around the same time, this was years ago, so I don't remember which happened first, but the Scar 17 actually came out. Same thing. I pointed at that, and she was like, no way am I gonna pay $3,000 so you can get a new toy. KSG comes out, and I'm like, I want that one. Advance a little bit in the timeline, and I start searching for this thing. Alright, it's got an MSRP of $6.99. I knew an MSRP was supposed to be the high end of the market, so I could probably get it for cheaper. I was thinking probably like $550, $600. I should be able to score this thing, and it looks freaking awesome. Like, how cool is that? It kind of reminded me of the shotgun on Halo. Just like, yeah, I know the Halo shotgun loads to the top, and it's like way different. No way in any shape or form looks like the KSG, but to me, I'm like, oh, it's kind of like the Halo shotgun. So I wanted it, and I wanted it bad. And I searched for it. I finally found a release date. At this point in time, I lived in Illinois, which Illinois is really awesome when you're looking for things. Because there's so much stores and so much industry in Illinois, rarely ever, and I mean that rarely ever, did I ever have to order anything offline. Normally, I could just find things in the shelf. Here in Wisconsin, it's not that way. You have to order offline because we just don't have that type of industry infrastructure. So anyway, I go to shop after shop after shop. Nobody could get this thing. Nobody at all. I could put one on back order, but they were expecting I'd be waiting over a year. And I was tootling around with this idea, and they were also going to charge me about $825. Fast forward a little bit more. My house gets broken into. My rifle's stolen. My pistol's stolen. Here's the serial number on the rifle. If you ever come across this, it's an Armorlight AR-10A2 carbine. Please report that to the police. I would love to have that thing back. So anyway, my house gets stolen. Or my house gets broken into and that gets stolen. Now I'm gunless in Illinois, which that's not cool. That's not cool at all. Just got my FOID card in because it took, what, a year and 6 months to get that thing? It was a really, really long time. So the whole time I'm sitting in Illinois, I'm sitting there illegally with firearms I can't own, but because I moved there, waiting on my FOID card finally comes in, so hunting for it, my house gets broken into, I'm like, I need a gun now. Went to every single store, I'm like, what would it take for me to get this KSG immediately? Could not do it. So I wound up going with a Mossberg 590A1 SPX. Well, it was actually a 500 SPX, but I blew that shotgun up, and when I sent it in, I ultimately wanted a 590A1. Long story, I'll put a link at the end of this video where you can actually go and listen to the story. So anyway, I get that, and the KSG kind of goes on a back burner. I wind up moving out of the state sometime after. During that time, yeah, it was somewhere in there I had heard about the RFB. And I thought that was another awesome design. It was a bullpup, full-length barrel 308, so you could get the full power of the 308 in a bullpup configuration. YouTube's growing in popularity. Gun reviewers are starting to pop up. One of the reviewers I started watching was Nothing Fancy. And he brought that guy Chad from Kel-Tec into his channel. who brought an RFB and couldn't get it to run. I'm like literally an associate of the company. Like literally he works for Kel-Tec and he brings a firearm out for advertising and he couldn't get that to run. What's the general population going to be getting? So okay, forget about the RFB. Don't want to touch it. That can just burn. I don't even care anymore. So one of my friends in Minnesota, he's like, hey man, they got a KSG at this gun shop down the road, and I know you've been interested in it. I'm like, yeah, I think I am going to go and buy that, because I've had this love affair with it for years now. I haven't even got to see one in real life yet. Go down to the gun shop sometime later, and it's gone. My friend had bought it. Aside from the fact I totally wanted to punch him in the dick, we go out to the shooting range. Maybe 2 tubes, 3 tubes later, the pump breaks. The shotgun breaks. I'm like, oh man. So whatever, that was the first gen. Apparently they had fixed that, so that's not an issue anymore, or it was solved. I don't know, because that was the end of my KFB love affair. Or KSG love affair. Because of a couple of different things. One, that shotgun is exponentially slow. Yes, you get 16 rounds right off the bat, but I could pass that thing in round count in a pump action shotgun in probably like 40 rounds, something like that. Because I can do twin loads, and I can just single feed through the chamber. Reloading the KSG really sucks. Now you might think it's not that bad because of the game Modern Warfare, and you'd get those fast hands or whatever it is, and you'd load 2 at a time. You can't actually load the KSG like that. If you could actually load the KSG like that, that would be pretty cool if you could do twin loads on it, but you can't. Then, the shotgun shells hit you in the hand. So, okay, I would have just made that, like, because of the size and the firepower, like a last-ditch shotgun. There's no reloads going to happen. What that is, I'm going to fire the ammunition in it and ditch it, so I'm going to strategically place it in some part of the house. And that was my plan. Until obviously, I shot it a little bit more. You have to manually switch between the tubes. That makes absolutely no sense. Why does it not run one tube empty and automatically switch to the next? Because of that little thing, that shotgun's useless. There's no role I can put that in where it's going to be effective or do a better job than any other shotgun could do. So alright, RFB, dead to me. KSG, dead to me. Then we come here. Now we're at the gun shop. So what have we come across? Well, first is the Sub 2000. Now the concept behind this is freaking awesome. So, looking at me generally, I would probably guess that he's got a firearm on him. So there's really no point, like I try to be the gray man as much as possible, but it still always looks like I have a firearm. Now, for somebody that can pull off the look like, hey, they're just some innocent person, they don't have a firearm, they could have this, like, strapped underneath their jacket, maybe in a backpack, they could have it in, like, the back seat of their car, and get themselves to a safe position. And because this takes the same thing as, like, Glock mags, Smith & Wesson mags, you only have to carry one type of magazine and one type of ammunition. Yes, 9mm ammunition is heavy, but 9mm ammunition by itself is lighter than 9mm ammunition and .223 ammunition. So in a pinch, like you defend yourself or whatever with your pistol, and then you retreat to a safer location, pull this out, and then you have just a little bit more firepower, because a long gun's a hell of a lot easier to shoot than a pistol. What's the biggest problems with this thing, or the things that most people complain about? A lot of it has to do with the plastic. For example, the barrel is just glued into this plastic receiver. The front sight they've improved. You used to get this plastic front sight that was really crappy. This one's metal now. It's better now. I like it better. And then charging this thing. If you don't already have it stowed like this, so all you have to do is pull it out, hit your lever, and then go to work, it becomes a real problem, because now you got to charge it, and it's really clunky. You can't quite pull it back with it shouldered, so you got to almost like bring it on your stomach and pull it back and lock it like that. Terrible design. And they've never improved on this design. This thing's been out forever. Where are the improvements? Why has this not gotten better? Now when you store it, so obviously you'd have the chamber open because that's the only way to store it. You think they would have come up, they're like, okay, you can store it with the chamber closed and this plug that goes on here, so you can like rip off the plug and throw it away and then go to work with this. There's just no innovation past the original design. It was almost like they bought the design from someone and then they just manufacture it, and they don't have the mental or engineering capabilities to improve on the design after the original design. And that's the same thing with the KSG. You'd think with enough people complaining about having to switch between the tubes, they would have modified the design or improved on it. Also made it ability to do twin loads. No improvements on their design at all. So okay, this thing still sells, so it's not a problem. This thing's gravy, good to go. Then we get to the PF9. Like I said, I watched Nothing Fancy's reviews. He raves on this a lot, says this is awesome, so obviously I'd bring it into the shop. And we've sold a few of these. The problem with this is the mag catch is all plastic. Now I have a theory why it does it, but I'm not for sure. So anyway, if you go to insert your magazine, it's kind of difficult. What you have to do is touch the mag catch and then it slides in nicely. You'll never have a problem after that. Well, customers don't do it that way. They'll hit this and then they'll just slam it in. And it cuts the plastic. I don't know if it's down here that's cutting the plastic or up here that's cutting the plastic, but it puts a groove in the mag catch and then it will never insert easy. You'll be at like this point right here and you'll have to take it and go BAM! To insert the magazine. Why wouldn't they fix that? Why wouldn't they change that out for a metal mag catch? I cannot be the only person that's run into this problem. You'd think a bunch of people had run into this problem, sent the pistols in it, and then they'd be like, oh, duh, it's a plastic mag catch. Let's switch that out for metal. Where's the improvement on this design? Why has it not gotten better? Why is it just dead in the water? If it wasn't for that mag catch, I would like this firearm. But because that mag catch does that, and ruins basically every PF9 we've had come through here, that's a dead firearm to me. I don't like that firearm. Now we get to the P11. So originally we had gotten a bunch of Skies, and everybody in the comments is like, oh, that's a ripoff from the P11. The P11's better. Whether or not this is better, this has a stock number of 424. If that gives you any idea how old this is. We brought this in probably like a couple of months after we opened, maybe a year after we opened, and it's been sitting here the whole entire time, and no one will buy it, and that's because this thing is just fugly. This is one of the ugliest guns I have ever held. The pins, they just look horribly in there. They're in there with plastic. You got a plastic mag catch. Now this don't have a problem because your mag is tapered in, so you can insert this as hard as you want and we'll never have a problem, which is cool. But it's just a horribly designed gun. It's ugly. Why have they never improved on this? Why haven't they improved the styling? Why is this just dead in the water? Like I said, it feels almost like, no, the actual quality of this gun's good, but because of the fact that it don't sell, it's dead to me. You think they'd be like, oh, hi, how come our sell rate on those P11s are so slow? Why don't we have a bunch of people ordering them? Let's redesign it, add some styling. And that's my problem with the company. You'll get the initial product, which is usually pretty innovative. I like the concept, I like the design, but then they'll go and they'll execute it poorly. So now they have this poorly executed design. Now you'd think they'd take the sales from that, like, okay, that's a hot item. Like, these are always out of stock. Either they don't ever make them, or that's a really hot item. People like the concept of it. So you got your concept, your design. Now let's start improving on it. Let's make the firearm better. Let's start tweaking on the little things that fail or people don't like. Let's make our products better. And that's my problem with the company. They don't ever improve. They're always just dead in the water. You have the initial release. I mean, this did have minor improvements like the sight, and now you got a threaded barrel. This needs major improvements. It really needs to have some sort of cap on here. They need to do something different with the charging handle. Yeah, I guess the safety isn't that bad. It sucks. It really does, but it's not horrible. The KSG, no improvements, and that's what I'm digging at here. If their company would come up with their innovative designs, which they do, a lot of the designs, I really love the concept, but they execute them poorly, and then they never improve and get the designs better. That's why I don't like Kel-Tec. Anyway, if you'd like to check out any of my other videos, click on the links up here. If you'd like to help support the channel, there's my Patreon. I also got affiliate links in the description. Even if you don't buy exactly what the link's for, just clicking on that link and buying shit you were going to buy out off Amazon anyway, I get a kickback for it because you went to Amazon off of my link. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.